Our products are organically sourced natural healthy foods from Nigeria, West Africa, sourced directly from the small local farmers. At Naturalike, we believe what you put in your body and on your body can dramatically impact your health and well-being. Boost your energy levels and satisfy your cravings with a healthy dose of natural sweetness from our products. We're excited to help lead African foods and products into the global health and wellness markets. Follow us on Instagram at Naturalike, on Facebook at Naturalike LLC, and YouTube at Naturalike TV. These organically sourced foods are available at our Amazon store, amazon.com/Naturalike. Email us at naturalikeproducts@gmail.com.
Peace, family. We are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Uhuru. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining us, or joining me, or joining us, joining the family, being part of this production. You know what I mean. Do me a favor, hit the like button again. Please hit that like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. Again, please, it is important for you to hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date and get all the notifications on when we go live or when I post a new video or I post to the community section. Before we get started, we have a couple of announcements. Announcement number one. All right, we are rolling to Nigeria, August 4th through the 13th, August 4th through the 13th for the Osun Festival. We are going to have an excellent time in Nigeria for the Osun Festival. Actually, we leave in like almost 2 weeks. So on Sunday, well, hold on, we leave. Yeah, we leave in 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks. In fact, less than 2 weeks. Hold on, let me get my math together. We're headed to Senegal for the Jazz Festival. Again, we are headed to Senegal for the Jazz Festival, and we leave in about 13 to, we'll just say 2 weeks. Looking forward to it. You know, if you're watching this, if you're coming to the Jazz Festival, I'm looking forward to meeting you in person. But that trip is completely sold out. But we have the Osun Festival, August 4th through the 13th. August 4th through the 13th. Come and join us for the Osun Festival. And then we have Safari Blue. Now, the Osun Festival, we have 3 spots remaining. We have 3 spots open. If you're interested in joining us, please visit Donfo. Let me put the banner. Donfo.Africa. That's DANFO.Africa. And then we're rolling to Zanzibar for Safari Blue. White sand beaches, blue water, good food. Again, Safari Blue in Zanzibar, September 22nd through October. Sorry about that. I was going to say October 1st. And Fitzgerald Stevens, if you're watching this, I think this is around the time my Bulldogs, in fact, hold on, I just got this new shirt. Shout out to Black Forever. That's the name of the company. I just got this shirt. Hold on 1 second. I just got this shirt back-to-back national champions right here, y'all. Back-to-back national champions, 2021, 2022. It still smells new. I haven't worn it yet. It still smells new. And this is from Black Forever. Lumumba, if you're secretly trolling and watching this, you ain't got no Ohio State shirt like this. You don't have an Ohio State shirt like this if you're secretly trolling and watching. So here we go. Back-to-back national champions. UGA, go Dogs. So Safari Blue, that's September 22nd through October 1st, September 22nd through October 1st. And if you have not bought the documentary In Search of Uhuru, when you go to Donfo.Africa, click the documentary button, and I will forward you to my documentary. If you're watching this, and if you have not bought the documentary, go and buy the documentary. It's an awesome documentary, everyone. Once again, thank you so much for joining, and we're going to jump into today's topic. So I watch a lot of Nigerian news because I need to keep up with what's going on in my home country. Well, actually, America is my home country, but Nigeria is also my home country, along with Sierra Leone, and we'll throw Senegal in there as well. So I watch a ton of Nigerian news just to keep up with what's going on. So there is he's the over the Ministry of Works of Nigeria. His name is David Umahi, and he was grilling some Asian contractors over renewing a contract, I guess, in regards to roads, a road project. And in fact, the road project is the Abuja to Lokoja, Benin. So that's Edo Road. Well, it might be. I'm gonna assume it's Edo and not Benin, the country. And he pretty much said, "We're gonna watch this entire grill session." He pretty much said, "Look, if you do not sign this new contract, I'm gonna get my homeboys, and they're gonna put hands and feet on you." And I enjoyed every second of this because this is how African government officials, when we bring in companies and we give them contracts, if they're not performing, you're not getting paid. If you're not performing to the standards of the former contract or to our agreement that we had previously in our contract, if you're not performing, that contract's null and void. You got to sign this new contract. If you don't abide to the terms and conditions, we're gonna have a problem. And the Minister of Works, this is what he's saying. Listen, we're gonna have a problem. So we're gonna take a look at this. We're gonna watch this in its entirety. It's like 22 minutes long, and then I'll open up the lines and you can call in.
A CRM shouldn't weigh your.
We'll go off our own trouble, don't worry. Yeah, Dantata does no work. All you have to do to us. And we have another. Dantata, you have the floor. All we respect it. You don't dictate to us. This is our conditions. You want to work, fine. You don't want to work, leave the job. It's not compulsory.
That's the minister right there. That's the old guy.
The whole sections of dangerous man. Is it not just CCC? Yes, sir.
Those are the contractors.
Let not hide concerning to build a nation where peace and justice shall reign.
You cannot be on site and the people are dying. And we've been on this matter since September last year, and it looks that we are having disagreement. And my policy is that we are serving the public, and the public have the right to ask what is going on their roads, because the money belongs to them. And so there is disagreement that cannot be resolved. The policy is to discuss it in public. Any contractor that is not ready to discuss a project that we don't have an agreement.
I love how he's holding these contractors accountable. And he's saying, we're going to talk about this in public. He's being transparent. He's all about transparency. I love this. We're not going to talk about this behind closed doors. We're going to put you on Front Street. He has Arise News, TVC News. This is a press conference.
Can leave the site. It's important for the public to know the true position so that they can judge the Ministry of Works and judge the contractors. And so the way to go this morning, which will not take us time, is to hear from the director in charge of this special project. Because of the importance of the project, we have selected the projects and they called it special projects and deployed engineer Obuago to be the director that is in charge of the project. We even went further to procure about 30 kilometers dualized, and by the benevolence of Mr. President, he approved that to be under tax credit for the worst sections of this road. And today, WA has mobilized into 3 sections to do 10 kilometers per section. And so, Obuago will use few minutes to let us know. Then I will also present the position of the ministry. Then we allow the contractors to talk and we'll take the decision. Thank you. But before the administration of the president, the project was already reviewed to about 870 something billion. When I came in as minister, I saw that the project was overbloated, and I refused to take the no objection to FEC. I had to go through the road by myself. And I realized that some sections of the roads cannot survive the asphalt. And so we started meetings that took us over 5 months with all the contractors. And the meetings agreed for us to rescope the project. So we rescope the project, where we said, okay, the new lanes should be done on concrete and the other one done on asphalt. So we kept the contracts on and we all signed the documents, the sheets. And based on signing, please, you people are distracting me. And based on signing the documents, we took it to BPP, and then from BPP we went to FEC. And before we went to FEC, we demanded for them to, approve that they can do the job. They all gave us letters. But the arrogance of contractors in this country is quite very insulting. Very insulting. A country where the contractors are dictating what happens. In the Ministry of Works.
Exactly. The contractors shouldn't be able to dictate. The contractors are contracted, meaning they work for somebody. So the person that contracts you is the one who dictates what happens. Now, of course, the contractor give their opinion, but what he's saying is that these contractors are just abusing whatever agreement that they have set in place. And they're really not following the terms of the agreement. So it's a problem.
Many contractors have over 17 projects. They have no personnel to do it. They have no equipment to do it. They are just playing politics, staying on job 17 months, 17 years. And that is what is playing
I
out.
like this guy. I like this guy. Found out the corruption by the
The position
by the
of
contractors.
the government is that if you are not signing the contract between today and tomorrow, you will forgo the jobs. You can go to court. We will not enter into any condition for that negotiation. This contract is over 2 billion per kilometer. It's over 2 billion per kilometer. What do you want? You don't have equipment to do the work. There are no equipment. And let me even assure you that if you are signing the contract, you sign it along the basic rates, you sign it alongside the timetable, and you deploy in 3 sections, or I will terminate the job. Enough of this insults, enough of this politics, enough of playing with the psyche of the people. So we are here to report to the public that if you are not ready to mobilize in 3 sections, you will lose the job. And I've directed the ministry to audit all the sites. Audit all the sites within the next 7 days. I've directed that before. I'm directing that finally. Audit all the projects that are going on. Let us know the qualification of the workers there. Let us know how many personnel. Let us know the equipment on site.
If you have not hit that like button, and again, if you have not hit that like button, I need you to hit that like button, please. Thank you.
I mean, we can't continue like this as a country. You have a 200 kilometer of road. You are using one dozer, one grader, one compactor. What a country. What a country. So if there are problems that the contractors want to let us know, they should let us know. And then we will sort it out. We can no longer discuss in secret.
I'm in a sustainability and impact investments course. What really drew me in was just
graciously approved the documentation of this project, and it came back. When it came back, the contractors accepted the documentation and letters of award were given to the contractors. After that, the legal department was brought in so that this new contract will now be executed, so that work will continue. And then the basic rates, but we have written them already. Yesterday evening, I got a letter from Mothercat, almost on the same line too. So that is where we are. And the contractors, instead of maybe communicating so that we know the way forward, they're just keeping quiet. and which is not good for this road. This is an all-important road, especially now that we're about to enter the rainy season. The problems on this road are so enormous, especially to motorists that are applying the road. And so that led to this meeting so that the contractors will say their mind and then we reach a decision. If we can't reach a decision, then the ministry will be left with no other option than to initiate the process of termination and then re-award to a contractor that can do it, because this road is very important. Thank you, Honorable Minister.
I guess the interest of Nigeria and the interest of the legislature opposed. We have heard very clear what you have said, and please, we request from you more time. Let us send the document and whatever to the head office to help.
You out of time, buddy. You're out of time.
I don't understand what you say. I know that's it. I want you to sign the contract today or tomorrow. No further discussion, no further negotiation. You have signed the bill of quantities before. You gave a letter that is okay with you. We are not going back to FEC or to BPP. You are signing, you are not signing. And let me warn that you have no contract now, because the old contract you signed has elapsed. So we are signing brand new contract.
Your Excellency, is very clear what you have said. The only issue we have was the basic rates. So we have to do our calculation and computation again to confirm.
It's not for you to calculate. It's not compulsory for you to do the job. We develop the unit rates and we develop it from our basic rates. Okay? It's not for you to dictate. This is an offer. You can do it, yes. You cannot do it, yes.
Okay, sir, but we never want to dictate, sir, Your Excellency.
Go and sign the contract I am appealing to you. With the same basic rates we gave to Julio Beja. We developed the unit rates and we made offer to you. You didn't make offer to us.
Your Excellency, we submitted the offer in May 23. The offer, the unit rate was submitted in May 23.
No, it's not your basic rate. It's my basic rate.
No, about the unit rate, Your Excellency.
Sir, I developed the unit rates. I'm not doing augmentation. I reviewed the project. It's total review.
Okay, sir.
Next person.
Noted.
Welcome to Flatiron School. This is where you learn how the future works, where the whole point of education is.
Which and firstly for our section and currently we are seriously working, and secondly we have sent the draft contract to the headquarters, and they raised some issue, and we have answered and maybe later tomorrow morning, and maybe we can get the approval from them, so we can go ahead.
You have to let the director legal know that no contractor will tell us henceforth that they are looking for approval from head office. The companies are registered in Nigeria, and this thing must happen in Nigeria. It's very insulting to be telling us that they are looking for approval from head office. Any contractor that takes us that again will penalize the person. We are a sovereign country and we deserve some respect. RCC.
And our esteemed colleague, as my colleagues have said, we have got the addendum to cabinet agreement that outlines some clauses that deviate from the original contract. And since the contract is the cornerstone of every project, we would like, and we brought our observation that.
Sorry, this contract is not addendum. I've asked you to go and correct the director legal. it's a brand new contract because the one you signed has elapsed and I'm not willing to renew it. So as of today, there is no contract.
Nevertheless, Your Excellency, if I may respond, the contract has some deviations from the standard conditions of contract, which we would gladly like you to address, and then we will be ready to sign.
Sir, don't teach me the job. When a contract elapses, there is no relationship. Now, I'm giving you the right of first refusal, and we are not doing addendum. It's up to me to say I want to renew the contract or I don't want to renew the contract. And the NPC has written us that these contracts have elapsed. And so we came up with a total review of the project and we are signing brand new contracts. So it's up to you to accept or to reject. You cannot force us to sign addendum. We are signing brand new contracts. Yes.
Yeah. So, Your Excellency, still some technicalities that must be addressed, and we do believe that within the shortest period of time that you report on us, it can be addressed by our esteemed client, and then we will be ready to go ahead.
I don't understand you.
There are some technical and contractual issues.
The contract is given for signing today and tomorrow. If you are not signing the contract as given, then it means that we have no agreement.
So sign that contract.
To do your
Not going back and forth. You need to sign the contract.
Your Excellency, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir. We noted your observation, but I think what my colleague is just trying to let you know that we, due to the fact that it was brought to us as an addendum to the previous contract, we went through it, like reviewed and made.
We are very sorry. We are very sorry about that.
Yes.
I've corrected them that I'm not renewing the contract. I am signing a brand new contract. I tender an unreserved apology about that.
Yes,
okay.
Sir. I understand that now.
And that contract you are signing is going to be the standard contract in this ministry until the day I will leave the ministry. So any contractor that is not willing to sign that contract should leave the ministry. So it's not going to. So if you have your job to be reviewed and you lose this one, you will lose the rest, because we are not deviating from that. We have to protect this country. We have to.
Sir?
Cybersecurity is a career path that requires extensive technical skills. Or is it? Right now.
Can I ask a question, please?
Go ahead.
Since it was brought before us, we kind of reviewed it and made some comments which we have here to present to you, just to see to the comments
Can I ask you something? Can I ask you something?
Yes, sir, please.
You know, we have over 2,600 projects.
Yes, sir.
And every contractor wants us to do his or her bidding. Is that correct? Is it possible?
No, sir, it's not.
Okay. What we have given you is our standard contract agreement in this ministry. I'm a professional and I made inputs in that. So it's our standard contract. So no contractor will change it. Did you get me well?
I understood you. Yeah. But can I just say something?
Go ahead.
The reason why I'm saying this is because normally when a contract is put forward, proposed to the contractor, the contractor also has the right to go through it, review it, and see some things, technical, legal things, just to make both parties be on the same page and be fair to both parties. And we also observed some minor mistakes, like the previous MD is no more there, his name was written there as well. So those are some of the comments that maybe if you just go through it, you can just see just a basic comment.
If there are such things that are peculiar to your company,
Yes, sir.
you can sort it out. Because if we allow the companies, they will want to make observation on the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Okay? So take this contract as the Constitution of Federal Republic. It's a constitution that is going to guide us, throughout. Okay? That is what it is. And we will not want the essence of giving it to you is to check like this everything you said, what are peculiar to you. Okay? But not to change the letters of the contract.
Okay.
If you don't sign the contract and you stay on site, I will ask the locals to beat you up. Yes, I'm on camera.
Here we go.
You can't be on site, you are not working.
Hold on, let me run it back. Let me run it back.
And they will fold their hands. Okay, but not to change the letters of the contract.
Okay.
If you don't sign the contract and you stay on site, I will ask the locals to beat you up. Yes, I'm on camera and I mean it. You can't be on site, you are not working, the people are dying, vehicles are falling, and they will fold their hands and leave you. We will not leave you. So if you are not working, pack your things out of that site. We'll take a lot of shit.
I gotta run it back. I gotta run it back.
Because if okay, so take this contract as the Constitution of Federal Republic. It's a constitution that is going to guide us, throughout. Okay, that is what it is. And we will not want the essence of giving it to you is to check like this everything you said, what are peculiar to you. Okay, but not to change the letters of the contract.
Okay.
If you don't sign the contract and you stay on site, I will ask the locals to beat you up. Yes, I'm on camera and I mean it. You can't be on site, you are not working, the people are dying, vehicles are falling, and they will fold their hands and leave you. We will not leave you. So if you are not working, pack your things out of that site.
We're gonna run it back one more time. Links in the chat room if you want to call in, please.
Yes, I'm on camera. The essence of giving it to you is to check like this everything you said, what are peculiar to you. Okay, but not to change the letters of the contract.
Okay.
If you don't sign the contract and you stay on site, I will ask the locals to beat you up. Yes, I'm on camera and I mean it. You can't be on site.
One more time. We're gonna run it back one more time.
The people are dying, vehicles are falling. You can't be on site, you are not anything you said, what are peculiar to you. Okay, but not to change the letters of the contract.
Okay.
If you don't sign the contract and you stay on site, I will ask the locals to beat you up. Yes, I'm on camera and I mean it. You can't be on site, you are not working, the people are dying, vehicles are falling, and they will fold their hands and leave you. We will not leave you. So if you are not working, pack your things out of that site. We're taking a lot of shit.
Oh, he even cussed. Hold on. I gotta go back. You missed that part. Oh, my bad. You missed that part. I forgot about that part. Hold on one second. I gotta run it back. He said we ain't making that shit, boy. Hold on. Let me go back to it. My bad. Hold on. I gotta go back to it. Hold on. Let me go back to it.
Convert better and make.
Yes, I'm on camera and I mean it. You can't be on site, you are not working, the people are dying, vehicles are falling, and they will fold their hands and leave you. We will not leave you. So if you are not working, pack your things out of that site. We're taking a lot of shits.
Yeah, we're taking a lot of shit.
Don't enter into further negotiation. If there are mistakes of any, little things, we correct it.
There we go. All right, go ahead, Al. Unmute yourself.
Yes, yeah, greeting, brother, and the chat. Yeah, yeah, great. I mean, this governor is one of my favorite. Like when, as I was saying, basically when I spoke to one of my cousins that live in northern Nigeria, he always said to me, he's one of the best politicians that he knows that came from that southeastern region. Before the election started in Nigeria, I think is it a couple of years before, the current government snatched him from the PDP party and brought him over. And the guy is very transparent. I think he was an engineer, isn't it? You know that?
He's what?
He's actually an engineer by trade.
Right. He's over the Ministry of Works. He's an engineer, correct? Civil engineer, yeah, correct.
Yeah, he was an engineer. I mean, his state, called Ebony State, he transformed it. He's the former president's right-hand man. Buhari loved his brother. If not a lot of time, Buhari have time for any governor, that he during his tenure. He used to travel with this guy, most of the country, when he live in the country, travel in Spain. He actually brought him in the APC party for a reason. I don't know if you know about this, like because my cousin in Nigeria, he's actually part of the current ruling party, the member, right? He told this guy, he's the guy that's supposed to be vice president of Nigeria, to speak. That was the original intention of the former president. That's why he brought him over there. You know that?
Right.
Yeah.
No, so he's governor of Ebony State.
Yes, he was a PDP governor who got brought into the APC.
Oh, so now, yeah, he's the APC, right? Okay.
He's APC now, but he was a PDP governor.
Right.
Yeah, he got these are the guys that I think Governor Wike chased out of his party because of his own selfish reason. So he basically realized there's no point wasting time with PDP. So Buhari said to him, "Listen, come up, come and work with us. I'll actually see the job that you're doing. You're a very honest guy, very transparent, and he don't pander to tribal politics because that southeast zone, they're very anti my people and they're very tribalist, and he doesn't pander to that. And I think even some of the governors that the Hausa and the Fuller governors can see that, in him. They thought, yeah, I think they actually even said to the president, this is the guy, if you want to bring close to you, this would be the guy. If you want, if the Southeast, for example, the Southeast region have any chance of producing a president in our lifetime, this guy is right there. He's gonna be
even over Obi, even over Peter Obi.
Yes, 100%.
Why you say that?
Why? Because this guy got the ground. He got the people of North. People in the North love him. They actually do have respect for him, and he got the contact with the former president. That alone is a big step ahead, right? Because they will, if Buhari had basically give you the rubber stamp, say, yeah, this guy, his guy, vote for him, he will take him around and he's gonna get the vote, 100%. In fact, when I looked at the APC, the current government, when Buhari was actually trying to choose a running mate, his original intention was this guy should be the vice president of Nigeria. Yeah, and this guy is not. This guy is not. It's not lightweight. He's a heavyweight guy. Seriously, he's a heavyweight guy. He knows what he's doing, and all his projects that he's actually done in his state, he got that done. And he built a system where he actually is so transparent, right? Everyone can see what he's doing. The government can see how much money he spends and how much money he saves. What he's doing now, that's exactly what he did in Ebonyi State.
Okay.
So if you see the current government actually, chose him to do the job that he's doing, it's not just coincidence. He's no longer a governor, but he was a governor for Ebonyi State, and he actually
Exactly.
he transformed the place, and he's a minister of works. But the former minister of works also, he was a really hardworking guy. He done a lot of infrastructure in Nigeria, But this guy here, he know how to save money, and also he's an engineer, by trade. So you can actually see, what he's doing, and look at the universities that he built in the states and stuff that he done. 100%, I know for a fact he was the guy that's supposed to be the VP for the APC party, after Tinubu. 100%. But unfortunately, it's too early for him. But if there's a guy that will take over, from that southeast region, would be this guy. Forget about Obi. Obi is not going to get the votes. I supported him, but when I speak to my people in the north, they don't trust him. They don't think he will. They don't think he actually would ever become the Nigerian president. I know a lot of people might jump on the on their keyboard now and start abusing me, but that is going to be the fact, bro. It's not going to happen. This guy is more likely to be a southeastern VP or a president of Nigeria in our lifetime than Peter Obi.
Okay. I'm thinking Peter Obi, but I mean, if your people said so, but I still don't know a lot about the the Ministry of Works. I think David Umahi, I believe that's his name.
Engineer David Umahi, yes.
All right. So
yeah. The airport he built in his state, I think he named it after the former president. And he's a guy who was very clever. Yeah, he will actually start building the project before he finishes it. You get the president to come down and open it, and maybe you can actually go back to some of his inauguration and actually see what I'm telling you. Don't take my word for it. And here, where he actually is so, is so strategic. The president actually was so approved of him. He publicly signed some of the things like, yeah, okay, I'm going to sign. You can actually release the money, so you can actually finish this one. You can finish that. He actually love and respect the guy. Put it this way, and you don't get president that actually is close to the governor like him. He's actually a great guy. I'm actually really respect this brother.
All right, go ahead, Cosmic.
To me, all this is just the same old corrupt politician. I mean, I keep saying, remember the last time I was on here and I was saying that I was talking about Dangote and why he's hiring 10,000 Indians and he should be all Nigerian, right? And they said that, oh, Nigerians are not qualified. Nigerians are not qualified. Well, here's an example of a qualified foreigner. Here's an example of a qualified foreigner. Look at what they're doing. Why not give this
you make a great point. Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? Why not give this job to Nigerians? We have over 200 million people. People are jobless. Nigerians are extremely brilliant. Like, I do not understand why is a foreigner doing the jobs of Nigerians. And again, it comes down to what Sheon Kuti is saying. Nigerian youths need to be class conscious. You cannot go to the rest of the world and you're at the bottom of the society, and in your own society where you should be able to have your own things and should be able to have a say, is those same foreigners who are coming to your country to take your job. So at the end of the day, whatever they're talking about, I watched it, they're all corrupt. All those people it's just like that dude that is talking is an example of the wrong person in the right position. You know what I'm saying? What do you mean you're going to beat them? You're going to even the way he's talking to them, you can tell that they are nonchalant about it. They know he's not going to do anything. They know that all they have to do is just bribe somebody or somebody higher than him, and all these things is going to go away. You know what I'm saying? It's just all these things are just self-inflicted wound. It's just self-hatred. It's just so many things. It's just unexplainable, man. It's just unexplainable. That's what I gotta say. It's irritating. It's just very irritating.
Cosmic, do you think if these guys were Nigerian contractors, do you think those building materials and those stuff, would be there by now? Do you think this guy would not be engaged in selling the materials, to local builders?
Look at man.
Sorry, man.
What should I say to this? Look at there are corrupt people everywhere. Look at Vietnam. A minister stole billions of dollars. That's Vietnam. That's a corrupt person. And I think that you have corrupt people everywhere, and you have good standing citizens everywhere too. And I don't even think that's a problem. If the people who are up high up the hierarchy are doing their job, it shouldn't be hard to find men, Nigerian men and women, who can do this job and who are honest. It shouldn't be
No,
hard.
I agree with your point, brother. I don't disagree with your mindset at all. But unfortunately,
My
our
mindset.
yeah.
What do you mean by my mindset?
No, I don't disagree with your mindset. I think you're right. African politicians should support African, workers. African politicians should support African businesses. I totally agree with that. For example, if a Nigerian politician have money, they have, when they buy a vehicle, for example, they should be buying vehicle made in Nigeria, not buying vehicle that are made from outside. Yeah, that's a good mindset to have. However,
I mean,
if you
if I was in the position of authority right now in Nigeria, right, the first thing I'm going to do is gather about 50,000 to 100,000 Nigerians and just send them all to the best schools, technology, all kind of knowledge that we need in Nigeria. Just send all of them, disperse them out to India, America, England, China, Vietnam, all the information and education we need. Send them out
okay.
there and invest in that, and let them come back inside Nigeria and give them jobs. The teachers
Yeah,
will be
but
there, will teach the rest.
how long is that gonna take, Cosmic? If you need to finish a
As
project
long as it
within
takes. It's the same thing
oh,
China did before China became a. Let me finish.
yeah, yes, yes, my brother. Okay.
Before China became a world power, one of the first things it did was
How do you
let,
know the
let me
reason?
finish. Let me finish.
Let you finish,
One of the
MC.
first
You
things
can
it
come, my
did,
brother. Yeah.
but one of the first things China did, and actually India too did, was send their best brains outside their country to go to school and bring it back into India and bring it back into China. It does not matter. We go at our own pace. We are not in no race with nobody.
Yeah.
We go at our own pace. We are the one who have the natural resources. So it's not like, oh, we are competing with nobody. Africans don't have to compete with nobody. We own everything
Yeah.
we need.
Yeah.
So go
I
ahead.
mean, Cosmic. I understand where you're coming from, but unfortunately, when government in Africa they're democratic, right? They got like a time scale in power. Like for example, this current government they got maximum they got 8 years, right? So they got project that they want to finish as soon as possible, so they can actually add that to their list. Saying we managed to achieve this on time. So these guys are not looking at those things that you're looking at. They're looking at the finished product before it even
Well,
start.
that's
You know?
another conversation right there.
Yes. Okay, let EFC come in.
Let's pass the Nigerian first. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Okay,
yes.
let me say something. See, Nigerians always come here and talk and talk and talk. When they speak, they don't speak in fairness. For instance, if you look at the power sector, many of the companies were sold to Nigerian owners. Instead of those owner who bought those companies to make actual investment to buy all the necessary equipment so that power can get to everyone, they didn't do anything. They are still managing the way the whole thing is. Imagine those companies were sold to foreign company. I believe they would have at least, first of all, make investment in buying all the necessary equipment they need so that power will be stable in the country. But you see, our people are the reason why Nigeria is where it is. We have one of the most wicked. I'm talking about the private sector here now.
Okay.
They don't care. For instance, if all of us are speaking here. Davido's dad is part of those who bought some of the energy company in Nigeria. How much did he, when he bought those companies, how much did he invest to expand electricity, to make sure electricity reach almost all the areas in Nigeria? He didn't do those investments. All these things require capital investment. You understand me? They just they bought those company. They are just to collect money.
Yeah.
Understand me? And they
Yeah.
don't deliver.
Yeah. I mean, you have seen. I'll give you a good example. In Sierra Leone, before the war, I think even after the war, a lot of our roads were built by a company called CSE. Now CSE is a Senegalese company. You know, they're actually owned by a black country. The workers are black. When they come in, they employ locals. You know, and as you said, you're right. You know, some of these private sector that bought into the government, branch. You know, like some of these companies that the government sold to the private sector. You know, if they have the country interest at heart, they should be the one that are actually tapping into this. You know, by already training the locals. You know, and actually, grabbing this contract instead of having, to use foreigners to do the job. So that's what Cosmic is actually missing the link here. You know, that's you
I'm
cannot
not
keep
missing
blaming the
any
government.
link. I'm not
Okay.
missing any link. I think you guys are just
The thing is that when you give some of these local companies, you know what they do? They will not do anything. Because they have political backing, and they will fall back to
that is
their
what I'm about to say right
they will
now.
fall back to their
That is
political
exactly
leader.
what I'm.
So that's the reason why they don't give some of these local Nigerian construction company, because they themselves are corrupt as just the
That
politicians.
is what I am about to say too right now. That there's no honest private sector without no honest public sector. For example, if we look at that issue that just happened right now in Vietnam, this was somebody, right, who embezzled the country's money. Guess who penalized her? The public sector. The public sector came in and said, "Nah, we're sentencing you to death." So, the private sector cannot move without the public sector. So, if the public sector is corrupt, the private sector is corrupt. Which now brings me down to the Nigerian youth. When are we going to start doing things about this and stop complaining?
Yeah, but the thing is, we need more private sector. I know people might call me a
Let's forget
self-defeating or
private
whatever,
sector or
but
public
I mean,
sector.
the government haven't achieved shit enough. Let's be real. If you call me self-defeat, that's fine. But me, I'm more of the private sector angle in terms of development.
But none can work without the other, because it's the public sector
the
that is
private
going to.
sector. If there's a big if you make the competition out there, if you have so many, companies that actually engage in building roads, fine. Of course, we can have public sector that are involved in building roads, but the only place I've seen that where that worked, it was in Guinea during Lansana Conte. He was a long military general as a president. He was using the military to actually rebuild the roads. So if you can do that, that would be great. That would probably cost you less money. Get the army to learn how to build roads and to repair the roads.
Does anybody?
If you can't do that, let the private sector handle it.
Hey, let's pass to Festus. Go ahead, Festus.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I just want to say thanks for this medium of conversation. I've been listening to what everyone has been saying as far as private sector, public sector, and everything. I just want to say Nigeria as a whole is failed. Public, private. When they started to privatize the national assets to folks like Davido's father, or to Dangote, or to Otedola, these billionaires did not pay anything. They were friends of the politicians, so they had the public asset given to them almost free. And they take their asset overseas. They live like white men. They have houses overseas. If you want private sector or anything to work, I would urge you to go to colleges in Nigeria. For instance, you're studying computer science. You don't have computers in school. How do you expect computer scientists to actually know what it's doing or to compete? So overall, the system in Nigeria is designed to fail. And if you were born in Nigeria today, that is like a sentence to be poor. You have to get out of the country to actually live a meaningful life. So public sector, private sector, Nigeria is completely failed. Nigeria just has to break up.
So Festus, are you saying there aren't any indigenous Nigerians that aren't successful in Nigeria?
So I'll speak for my family, right? They do well in business. They started business back in early 1990s, and that has provided me and my sibling like a great lifestyle here in the US. But there is no new wealth being created in Nigeria as of today. The only new wealth there is if your parents have money, old money, or you have associates in politics, or you're doing Yahoo Yahoo. There is no new wealth being created. I have friends who are wealthy, but they've been moving their asset out of the country. So this discussion of, foreigners doing stuff, the country is a failed state. Like it
Yep.
is a failed state.
Yep.
Like Nigeria.
Where are you from?
I was born in Lagos. I moved to the US in 2006.
So are you saying there aren't any successful Nigerians in Nigeria? Is that what you're saying?
Without the government aid or politicians, no.
So you're saying hold on. So you're saying that every single successful Nigerian is due to government aid and politicians?
Most of them.
So my mom and my older brother.
Yeah, you have any proof to back that up, Cosmic?
I'm Nigerian. I lived in Nigeria for 19 years of my life.
So you're saying every single Nigerian that's successful is
So
due to
most of the companies in Nigeria that are successful are owned by Unilever, right? A British corporation. Show me a Nigerian industry that is serving Nigeria that is doing well. Show me.
So let me answer the question that was directed to me, and I'll be very brief.
Okay.
Two of my sisters finished colleges in the US and they went back to Nigeria to start business. They can't do anything if not for the fact that my parents have assets already, so we can do whatever we want to do. That is not the story for any average Nigerian. Today in Nigeria, if you don't know anyone to get into business, you're toast. It's better to leave the country.
If you don't mind me asking, where about in Nigeria are you from?
I was born in Lagos.
But what region are you originally from?
I'm Yoruba, Southwest.
Hold on. Oshifeso,
yeah. And don't get me wrong. No, I'm Ijebu. People are doing businesses and they are doing well, but they need like a wealthy parents to help them.
But what we are talking about right here is companies like, for example, Verizon, companies like Costco, companies like, do we have those kind of companies that are owned by Nigeria that is serving the Nigerian people?
Okay, hold on. Isn't Glow owned by Nigerian?
So I was actually gonna say that. So Globalcom is owned by a Nigerian, but how that guy got his money was through military dictatorship and the government. And yet still Globalcom cannot compete with the best of Western telecom. If they
I love Glow. I love Glow. Glow works great for me.
Glow works great, but they're not aggressive in actually making like good product for Nigerians.
And you also understand that.
Okay, as far as all the banks in Nigeria, you have UBA, you have Zenith,
owned by English people, owned by England. Most of
them. So you're saying UBA is owned by somebody from England?
Yep.
The majority of the ownership, like the stocks and whatnot, are owned by the UK. Even the Nigerian airport, Nigerian seaport. If you start looking at who owns the majority of those assets, it's owned by the
Lagos itself.
You have any proof of that?
This is
I'm surprised that British will only Lagos. I'm surprised.
You observe, many of these people just come here now and said
the separatists.
Hold on, without backing it with proof or anything.
Hey, Nigerian first, you gotta turn off your fan, bro. Nigerian first, please turn off your fan for like please.
I will do that. They are just feeling something without proof. Post any proof.
Okay.
Let's see.
Yeah. I just want proof that backs everything that you're saying. That's just
okay.
Just proof.
I can send you articles and books to read, and then you'll see the numbers there.
Who are the owners? Who are the owners? Name names.
Man, Nigerian Force, man.
Yeah. It's easy. Just name the names.
Have some respect, Mr.
Nah, you hear what's your Nigerian Force, man? Stop talking. You are irritating me.
Man, if you have
not exposed.
That's why I told you. That's why I told you last time.
Every time you open your mouth, it's just obvious that you are not exposed.
No, let's not do that. Let's not do that.
How? Did you know this guy went to UK, brought PhD and everything? You know what they opened in Nigeria? You know what is set up in Nigeria? A kebab spot. These are failed people. Don't listen to them.
Well, I hate to call someone else failed, but the thing is, a Nigerian person. What I noticed is some of these guys are separatists. They don't want the country to succeed. So they wouldn't see anything positive about the country.
Yeah,
that's a
they
sad
don't
part.
build nothing.
Yes, and they just want it to fail, and that's a really bad mentality to have. Even if you want the country to divide, if you want the country to divide, you should actually want it to succeed first. Then you can divide it. But if you want it to fail before you
about
divide
Nigeria that you're not understanding? Nigeria was not created to be successful.
There are some people who want to
say Nigeria was not created to be successful. I will never be successful. My ancestors did not create Nigeria. The Igbo ancestors did not create Nigeria. The Hausa's ancestors did not create Nigeria. Our ancestors, collective ancestors in that land, did not come together and say that, you know what, hey, Yoruba man, Igbo man, Hausa man, let's come together and form one nation. No
country in Africa. You could say the same thing about all the countries in Africa. You can say that could say the same thing about all the African countries.
Exactly.
So you're not making sense. Cosmic, you're not making sense.
Which African country?
Hold on, guys. Hold on, one mic. I have this pulled up. So this is about UBA Bank. So Tony Elumelu owns 194,669,555 shares directly, and 2,185,934,184 units indirectly. Can you show me the Englishman that owns more shares than Tony?
What we are saying is that Dynast.
No.
Answer the question.
Can you show me the English? Because I brought up UBA Bank and you said that it's owned by the Englishman. Can you show me that what Englishman owns more shares than Tony Elumelu?
Hold on, let me.
Yeah, dude, that's all.
Hold on.
I'm just asking. Can you show me who owns more shares than Tony Elumelu? That's all. Just give me his name.
It doesn't have any anything.
Just rumors, just speculation.
I'm just asking,
So-called PhD holder.
If you're Ododuwa, you're Biafra, you want all this separation.
I am not talking. We are not talking about.
I'm not saying you.
No, guys. Before we move forward, you made a statement. Cosmic, you made a statement that said that UBA Bank is owned by Englishmen. The same for Lagos.
Most of the banks and even Lagos State itself are owned by the British people.
Okay, so when I brought up UBA Bank, you said that. So I'm just asking who owns more shares than Tony?
Hold on, I'm trying to.
Let me tell you.
So you don't know.
It's really sad.
I just don't want to tell you. I want to bring out the evidence for you so you can show them.
But you come and say the British own everything.
Yeah. This is what they call a defeatist mindset, really, to be honest.
Nobody's having a defeatist mindset here.
You are.
This guy is even living in the United Kingdom. If you are living there.
Okay, let's move on from this because you already lost about Dynast have exposed you, and that's the trouble. He will expose you when you come in here.
I still believe I might not be able to find you the evidence right now. I'll find it for you and I'll send it to you. Once I find it, I'll send it to you. Don't worry.
You don't have any.
I might not have it right now, but I'll send it to you. Dynast.
You don't have any. PhD.
This guy, Nigerian first. I don't want to talk to you. Move. Go and talk to your.
PhD.
No, but Cosmic, you can't do that. That's a bit rude, Let's just be civil. Yeah, we're all one brothers. We're aiming at the same thing. I'm not Nigerian myself, but I'm just telling you. My country where I came from.
Say something?
Yeah. Let me just finish, right? Let me finish. My country where I came from, we had problem with infrastructure. We had to go to Senegal. A company called CSE. They're Senegalese. They actually, employed all their employees were black. We had to contract these guys to come and build our roads. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Sometimes our countries were lack because we don't have the vocational education system in our schools to train these guys to actually know how to build roads to become engineers. Because Sierra Leone were more engaged with academic studies. People want to be accountant. They want to do this. They want to go to university and be a lawyer. You see, for example, that's how Sierra Leone education was based on. It's when we had the war in Sierra Leone, went to Guinea, they had a different system. In Guinea, they learn how to be a mechanic, how to build roads, how to, a lot of these guys go into the military to actually learn this trade. So you got different systems. If we don't have the private sector to actually do it, we can actually borrow the skills from the next door neighbor, or we can actually set up, competition in the private sector area where they can actually, fight for the contract between one another. Then actually it could make it cheaper. So there's a different way you could do it. But to say that we are not capable, and also it's only owned by foreigners, all the companies. When we know Nigeria, I'm not Nigerian, but I know Nigerian companies. In fact, Nigeria is one of the few countries in Africa that is actually owned by its people. It's one of the most Pan-African economy that we have in the continent. They might not be going out there singing Pan-Africanism, but I, as a non-Nigerian, will tell you, if you look at most of the big companies in Nigeria, they're owned by Nigeria. You cannot be so unpatriotic online. You might want to divide the country. That's fine. I'm not going to stop you from doing it, but just be real. Just be real about stuff, yeah. Because you came up here so many times. You make great points, but also we're trying to warn you. If you start giving out some information that's incorrect, the guy got his very credible platform. He will correct you. Right. So and also you're making valid points.
I am not saying I'm wrong.
Disrespect him also,
I am not wrong. I might not be able to prove the evidence, but I still believe a lot of the things in Nigeria and Lagos and company are owned by Britain.
No.
You don't have to believe me, but I do believe that.
Either you have the facts or you don't.
I'm gonna bring it to you, Dynast. Don't worry. Continue. I'm doing my.
I mean, either you have the facts or you don't. It's that simple. You made a statement and you don't have any information to back it up. I'm just saying, guys, links in the chat room. If you want to call in after the conversation, please.
This is what
on the link.
Can somebody who has socio-economical
hold on. Let who
come here and talk to us about
hold on. Who was talking? Who was just talking? Was that you, Festus, or was that Nigerian?
Let Festus speak. I think Festus been quiet.
Festus, go ahead. Festus, you can speak.
Okay, I think it is healthy for us to stop this unnecessary and unhealthy arguments. We all here, with a purpose to share our thoughts and mind on how our country can move forward. So this bickering doesn't make sense. Let us not underestimate or downplay the forces that want Nigeria to fail, like the global forces.
Hey, if I can interject one more time, I'm so sorry. This is important. So, are you familiar with FBN Holdings?
I've heard about it, but I don't know to what extent, so not much I should know.
Okay, so
FBS Holdings,
FBN,
yeah, I know
bank,
FBN Holdings,
the bank.
Yeah,
FBN Bank.
Yeah, that's the largest bank in Africa. I think they own First Bank of Nigeria.
Right. Who's the largest shareholder?
I don't know to full honesty on
DJ Cuppy.
Yeah, her dad.
Her dad is the largest shareholder. So I'm just trying to figure out what the British and the people from England own Nigeria, and I mean it's just not true.
Okay. I'm not gonna debate.
I'm just saying
it's just
not true.
Okay. So Otedola's dad was a governor at one time in the early 1990s. And when Obasanjo became president in 1999, he started this privatization program. Obasanjo wasn't in the country because he was negotiating debt cancellation. The vice president, Atiku Abubakar, literally gave up the country's asset to friends without them paying a dime. So don't let us underestimate the level of corruption that we have in Nigeria. Ever since democracy came since 1999, it was as if the democratic system was trying to outdo the military system in who was more corrupt. Every other president that we get year after year, they prove to be more corrupt than the previous administration. So when people call us monkeys, I mean, the politicians in Nigerians are actually a living testimony of what monkey really is.
Oh man, we're not gonna use white supremacy. Oh, come on.
I'm not using white supremacists here, but the level of decadence, immorality, and corruption, ineptitude that our politicians constantly display. A governor in Kogi State, I'm sure you've heard about that, took away some billions of naira to pay college tuition. in advance, and Nigerians don't even protest.
I know, right?
Okay, but again, I just want somebody to prove that Lagos is owned by Britain. That's all. That's all I'm asking for.
Okay, Dynas.
Let me quickly say something real quick. I would need like an email, so I will send you links of like articles.
Yeah, you
or,
don't have
like,
to do that. Just put it in the chat. Either you know it or you don't.
Okay.
Yeah, we understand what you're trying to say. Of course, politicians are corrupt. They all are in Africa, you know. But you know, some obviously have a higher level of corruption than other, you know. But however, today we was here talking about a politician that I think he's been doing a great job. I'm putting tribal shit aside, right? Let's put tribalism aside. That guy that
Nobody's talking about tribalism right now.
no, I'm just saying, yeah. Oh no, that's okay. That guy that we're talking about today, you know, I hands down, I think is by far the best governor in Nigeria over the last decade. He actually puts his words, you know, he actually is a talker and doer. He just don't talk the talk. You got to go back to his state. If Dynas can highlight some of the development that he's actually done in his state, you will appreciate the guy more. And I think people like that we need to promote, you know, to the top, to actually do more work in the continent, because we need more engineers, you know, to do the jobs that engineer does. We need business people to be involved in the, you know, in the basically in the financial sectors, you know, instead of having just some idiots, you know, for the sake of regionalism or because he can galvanize more votes and put them there. Is basically it don't make no sense, because reality is a lot of politicians in Africa are just put there for certain reasons, not because of competence. If you can put a politician in a place where you know is actually based on the competence, what he can achieve, you know, if you actually put them there, you can actually manage to develop a country. But if you can just put them there based on, you know, how close they are to you, or if they're a family member, stuff like that, you're not gonna get nowhere. That's the point I'm trying to raise anyway. Maybe I made it long-winded.
Last question. I'm gonna pass it to Delroy. Who owns Famfa Oil?
I think that's Alakija, the lady, right?
Right. So I'm just trying to figure out where's this, you know.
Do you know how she got her wealth from?
How'd she get it?
Okay, so Babangida, a military general, was head of state of Nigeria, right? And his wife, you know, she was very good with fashion. Alakija used to actually sew Babangida's wife's clothes. Alakija claimed that Babangida's wife just handed her a license, like oil block, like, hey, you own this land, there is oil there, and go get money. But if you look behind the lines of, you were just a tailoring, the president wives gives you like a license to go extract oil. The land isn't even yours. It's owned by the Southerners. Some people would say, did she like having an affair with the head of state? I didn't see anything, but if you look between the lines, you understand how the system of corruption plays. So all the billionaires in Nigeria today did not work for that money. They didn't earn it.
Let me pass it. Let me pass it to Delroy. I'm gonna pass it to Delroy. Go ahead, Delroy. Go ahead, Delroy.
Including family, your family also involved, because let's be honest, anyone that is running business that is successful in Nigeria, all of them are corrupt. Let's not come here and play innocent.
Even the person selling pure water on the street is also corrupt.
Oh man, let's pass it, Delroy. We gotta pass the mic. We gotta pass the mic. Go ahead, Delroy. Unmute yourself, Delroy. Delroy. Yourself. Go ahead.
You hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yeah. Jeez. I grew up with quite a few Africans in New York, and for the life of me, I don't know why Nigerians in particular hate their country so much.
Delroy, Nigerians are some of the most unpatriotic people you will ever meet.
I really don't know why. It's incredible. Why you guys hate your country so much? There is, I mean, let me finish, please, bro. Right, from the male to the female, it's unbelievable. It's like you guys have no hope. So I want to ask the Nigerians on the panel: if you say there is no hope, Nigeria is this and that, it will never. What is the way forward? What do you do now? What do you burn? Do you drop a bomb on the place and burn it down? What do
No.
you do now?
We
Give
rename
me the answer. I
ourselves.
want the answers. I don't want to hear naysay. Give me your answer.
We rename
How do we
ourselves.
fix the whole thing?
We rename
One
ourselves.
at a time, please.
We rename ourselves.
What?
We rename ourselves. We are not Nigerians.
Is that going to solve the problem, though?
Oh well, let's start from there first.
Okay, yeah, I agree with Nigeria need to change their name, just like South Africa need to change their name,
Yeah,
right?
okay.
Yeah, but that's beside. What do we do now for the regular person on the street, bro? You said the people them that's selling coconuts on the street is and candy bars, they're thieves too. How could that be? Why would you say that about your people?
Me? I
Whoever said it.
No, I don't think I said that.
No one said that. No one said that.
Bro, you said, Dan, didn't someone just said everybody is corrupt?
Let me explain what I said. So someone said my family who's in business has to be corrupt or else you can't make it in Nigeria. And I said, does that include the petty traders? Because they work hard. Back to your question, the way at which Nigerian is being governed by the politicians is unsustainable. If they keep going on like this, it is like a cancer that's going to eat its host. So the way the trajectory of the economy of Nigeria, where the exchange rate were dollar to 1 naira, $1 was about 150 around 2015. Now it's 1,300 to a dollar. And the way I wish
how do you view the US?
Any investors, any of the same guys that will actually bashing Buhari back in the days and the former politicians, and now you're crying out again, saying the dollar, the naira is falling. It's crazy. This is just crazy, man.
The naira is actually gaining now. It's starting to gain now.
It's not as strong as it used to be though. It's gaining.
Of course not. We know that. But it's gaining.
They will never come here. They will never come here and show the
one mic. Go ahead, Delroy. He's there to talk. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me finish because I'm cooking.
Yes, sir.
For what? Listen, I'm not Nigerian. Right, I'm most of my DNA is from the land they call Nigeria. Though I'm gonna tell you that for real. Most of it is from the Igbo people. Right. What I'm saying is right. Why can't you? We know a lot of things is going on that's bad in Nigeria and Africa and different places. Right. Why can't we find what's working and then work with that? Like for instance, the governor of, let me finish, the governor of Abia State, right? The governor of Abia State, right? The governor of Enugu State, the governor of what's the other one? Anambra, am I saying that right? Governor Saluda, Anambra State, right? They are trying, they might not be perfect, but they are trying to put the states together. Right. So I'm saying, why don't you find the good that people are doing and work with that and just build from there? That's what I'm saying. Right. Why everything has to be just doom and gloom every single day? That's what I'm saying. Right. And then for the Nigerians that live here in America, we know what goes on in Washington, D.C. We are at war. Right. I mean, this ain't no bed of roses right here.
Right.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
See, in order for Nigeria to get better, it will require the Nigerian youth to have a collective thought. It will require us to see the same thing, move the same way. Right. That's the only way we can move Nigeria forward without bloodshed. However, Nigeria is not a monolithic country. If you ask 100 Nigerians one question, 100 people will give you 100 different answers. You see, right there, we already have a problem. So, and if you have lived in Nigeria for so long, I lived in Nigeria for 20 years of my life. It was horror. You will see people begging for things that they should not even be begging for. For example, right now there is a governor who paid the school fees. Festus, what's the name of that governor who paid
Yeah, yeah, I know.
$850,000, which is 80 billion naira school fees for his children. Why people are hungry in the states? Why there
Don't
is no
forget
school?
Better Edu also.
And better exactly 80 billion naira to pay your children's school fees. Why the people of your country, of your nation, of your state can't even go to school? What do we say
But
about that?
get rid of his ass.
Sorry,
Take him out and
sorry,
hang
sorry.
his ass.
Hold on,
Sorry,
hold on.
let
Let
me
me
make
finish. Let me finish.
hold on, let
Let
me
me
make
finish,
a
and I'll give it
correction.
back to you. Let me finish.
One
I'll give it back to
billion.
you.
Sorry,
I'll
it
give it
is
back to you. Let me
Well,
finish.
I have
wait,
Afrodamus reported to Larry on here,
it
so I got
is
to get
1
them too.
billion, not 80. Let's be truthful when we speak. It is 1 billion. It's $800,000. If you convert it, it's about 1 billion naira. So let's be
Okay.
true.
Okay, I stand corrected. 1 billion naira, I stand corrected. However, 1 billion naira is enough to do a lot of things. So, but the annoying thing here is not even that. The annoying thing here is the fact that Nigerian youths are not angry. That is the problem with Nigeria. Nigerian youths are not angry. You can do anything to them. You can do anything to their mother. You can do anything to their father. You can do anything to their future generation. They don't care. God will come. God will help them. You see, that is the issue we have in Nigeria. I pass it on.
Okay, let me pass the Afrodamus report. Go ahead, Afrodamus.
Hey, thank you for having me. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
These conversations are very interesting and educative, but I find it crazy that like this man who he's a Nigerian, born and raised there, and when he is speaking about what he knows to be factual, somehow people who are not Nigerian, want to condemn him, like want to shame somebody into becoming a patriot. To be a patriot, you have to have a reason. The nation have to give that to you.
Hey,
There's like
Afrodamus,
unity.
if I can interject, sorry for interrupting you. What did he
Man,
say?
these people, boy.
Hold on 1 second, don't worry. But what did he say that was factual?
No, I'm saying, because I don't know if it's facts or not. I'm not a Nigerian, but I think we should hear him out, right? And I have met many different Nigerians also saying the same things that he is saying. Like, I used to have the same reaction, like, man, this is doom and gloom. But I'm like, I've heard it enough, like maybe I should listen. Even like, look at second generation Nigerian, most of them, they they don't want anything to do with Nigeria. They would even, they sound like white supremacists when you mention Nigeria. I don't know what their parents are telling them. If you meet a Nigerian, most of the time here in the States, you say you want to go to Nigeria, they will be like, what? Nigeria? Like, and gloom from these people. But I think we should hear them out. And, maybe they're giving us information that we are just in denial. Like Al, who is from Sierra Leone, I don't know why he speaks about Nigeria as if he's a
Because I have the
Nigerian.
freedom to speak, so I have the freedom to speak about anything
Exactly.
I
Who,
want to
who are
speak
you?
about.
Who are you
Who are
telling
you?
everyone not to speak?
Who are you?
Who the hell
Let
are
me
you?
finish. Let me
Fucking
finish.
hell, man. Let me
What
come
are you
back to you
guys
after
Of
upset?
Demos.
course,
Let
a
me
After you,
man could
finish.
please.
speak.
Thank
No,
you.
God, let Afrodamus finish, and then we're
Let
gonna
me
pass it to
finish.
Larry. Go ahead.
Like for instance,
Shut your little mouth.
trying to shame this man, into creating painting a fantasy for us. It's crazy because every time you turn around, you read in these newspapers, it's like, oh, some Nigerian such and such took billions from Nigeria, like some lady absconded with I don't know how many billion. And these days they're talking about the governor or senator who spend, like, they spend lavishly. You see this constantly, but they said the nation is going down. And the if you look at the economy of Nigeria and you look at the exchange rate, I don't like there's nobody on this panel, that can, tell us that is a good thing. I mean, any nation facing that is definitely, you are going down, unless you change it. And, I think the man is correct about that. Um, as far as saying who owned the companies, like, I'm interested to hear him out. Maybe he's telling the truth. We never know.
He's not telling the truth. All you have to say, if I say, hey, Afrodamus robbed somebody, and somebody asks who, and I say, I don't know, or I'll get back to you later, you don't have the facts.
Right.
I'm just saying, just prove it. It's easy.
Diners, let me just say it this way. There's a lot of us, okay, we might not have the exact fact right now, which you are fine.
Oh
But
God.
hold on, okay. You know what? I don't have the facts. I don't have the answers. I don't have the facts right now. But let me say something. Hold on.
After you, no problem.
Let me say something. Diners, we don't have the fact right now, but there's a lot of we Nigerians that believe by instinct, just by our instinct, that a lot of the things that we think is ours as Nigerians, so-called Nigerians, are not ours. And maybe it's up to us. It's just instinct, right? And Sheon Kuti is also saying this. Sheon Kuti is saying that we should go look at the what's it called? Where you write all the owners of things in Lagos. That we should go check in there. That we're going to find that Nigerians don't own Lagos. And
okay, so the Shehu
hold on. I want to read something to you. Hold on, Diners, I want to read something to you.
One mic. So the Shehu should be able to present it.
He told us to go to Lagos.
Okay, we'll go with Cosmic. That's your job. Go to Lagos and go to the records and then
I will do it.
Come back.
Thank you, Diners.
But Cosmic, why can't Shehu do that? He's in Lagos.
Okay, but check this out. Have you heard about something called Lagos Treaty of Cessation?
Man, bro, listen.
Hold on.
No,
have you heard about Lagos Treaty of Cessation?
I have to pass it to O'Leary. I'm saying is Sheun is in Lagos. You go to Lagos. Go to the records or the deeds office.
No, you go for it.
I don't believe you. That's why I'm not going. I'm not going to waste my time. I don't.
Diners a waste time on this guy, man.
I'm not going to waste my time because I don't believe it.
Before you pass it to O'Leary, can I just?
No. I gotta pass it on.
Okay.
Afrodamus, you done?
No, I was just saying, first of all, like, I didn't come here, to like, try to say, what the man is saying is true or not. But he's Nigerian. Like, for instance, Al is not a Nigerian, and he's trying to shame this man. The other guy also trying to shame him. Maybe we should hear him out,
Right.
I don't want to hear shit here.
Afrodamus, just me, man. Go on, eat your jollof rice. Finish jollof rice and come back. Finish your jollof rice and come back, Afrodamus.
Let the Malay talk about in country.
But what you want to tell her? You know, finally the disrespecting country, so you know good Afrodamus. So what you had to talk here? Yeah, because now in England here, the most patriotic kids in the UK are the kids that are born and raised in the council estate, that live in poverty, that have no money. You understand, Afrodamus? These are the ones that are the most patriotic. They're more likely to join the army and go and fight and die for their country. They don't have that much wealth. They always have stuff to complain about their country, but they're very patriotic. You understand what I'm saying, Afrodamus? That's the point he was missing out here, my brother. But yeah, I will let Fale talk. Not a problem.
No. Pass to Larry. Go to Larry.
Thanks. I just wanted to say that I think Festus is talking on the phone, and now he's muted up. Yeah, I was just going to say it's good to hear that there are people who are patriotic, and it's also good to hear that there are people who are pointing out problems in Nigeria. I live in England, and I come across a lot of Nigerians, and a lot of them are very patriotic. Even the ones who've never even been to Nigeria, you ask them where they're from, they say they're Nigerian. In regards to that governor you brought up and you mentioned for us, Dynasty, his heart, what he says seems to be in the right place. Whether he will actually achieve it, we don't know. Only time will tell. We'll have to wait and see. But I wanted to ask you, because you noticed what he was saying about those foreign contractors, because a couple of weeks ago you had a live stream where you were talking about Dangote, bringing in 11,000 Indians,
right,
to do that. Do you think that the same problem that's happening here could happen, where those 11,000 Indians might not pull their weight and might then lead to inefficiency?
Absolutely, and you just fire them.
Okay. But I don't have a problem with what Cosmos and what's the other guy, Festus, what they were saying. It was interesting. Likewise, I don't have any problem with those who were being like very optimistic. But it's good to hear both sides. because Nigeria is not a fairy tale where everything is good. So it's good to hear both sides. But like you, Dynast, you know more about it because you go there regularly. So you obviously see the promise that exists in that country business-wise. So I can understand why you're not too happy with some of the slander that's being spread on the panel. That's all I have to say.
Okay, let me pass the bio done. Bio done. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
I think it's Biodun.
Oh, Biodun. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Biodun, unmute yourself.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the audience. Yeah, it's Biodun. It's Biodun. Yeah, but people call me Biodun. You know, in this area. Yeah. So, thanks everyone. Actually, I live most of my life. I live most of my life in Nigeria, and I would want you all to know one thing for sure. Definitely, it sounds like Nigerians are not really patriotic, but that is not true. Okay, and when you talk about the situation of the country, it's just like a lot of blacks, a lot of Africans that come to America talking about Black Americans sometimes. You know, if we don't go through what you guys went through during slavery and all that stuff, we can't really know where you guys are coming from. And not until I learned about everything, that was when I was able to, you know, say precisely, oh, yes, this is what I think is happening. So that is the case of Nigeria. You know, Nigeria is a country whereby even the voice, the people that try to have a voice, they've been muted. You know, you try to fight for something that is great, and then you'll be the one suffering. You know, so when you see people talking, it's out of anger. Sometimes it's not really because they are not patriotic. You know, they feel like, what can I do? How can my voice be heard? 2 years ago, when they had the demonstration at Lekki toll gate, a lot of youths were killed. And the government tried to make it feel like nothing happened. That is what Nigerian politicians, that's what they do today. So when you talk about Nigeria as a country, it's very complicated. It's very, very complicated. You can't just say, oh, it goes beyond being patriotic. It's something. It just feels like fighting for emancipation of blacks in America. That's just the way it is. We Nigerians are enslaved within the country, by their people. So and someone said most of the elites in Nigeria didn't make their money, in a very legit way. Well, he's right to a certain extent. It's probably not 100%, but that just paints a picture of what happens in the country. So, I think it's something we all have to do. It has to do with a lot of education. I would tell you from my experience during the 2 elections ago, right, on Facebook, I was trying to educate some people about the reason why I think Buhari is not the right president. And you need to see people kind of like cussing me out, like, I stole money or I took something from them, like it's like so personal, And that is what is going on in that country. We've been divided, and they've lied to the people, and they don't really see themselves as Nigerians. They see themselves in terms of tribe. That country is one, but very, very, segregated. That's just the truth. So not until Nigeria now think about themselves as one, not as Igbo, not as Yoruba or Hausa, that is when we can even start talking about solution. So talking about solution right now is too early. We have to kind of like unify the country first so that we see ourselves as Nigerians. Just the same way I talk to people right now. When I here in America, I see myself as an African. I don't see myself as a Nigerian or from South Africa or something. So when I see any African or African American, I'm always happy to meet them. I'm always happy to know them. As long as they're doing something legit. That's just the only thing, my filter. So not until at that stage we cannot move forward. It's not like I'm cursing or something negative about the country. It's just the truth. In America today, when we're talking about White House today, if someone is coming from Chicago, no one say, "Oh, let's vote for someone from Chicago." You're voting for an American. That is what needs to happen first.
Well, let me ask you a question, bro.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Does it make any sense to throw your arms up and run?
Mm-hmm.
Like what a lot of Nigerians want to do. Just throw their arm up. It's never gonna be fixed. So let me just run. Let me just get out of here and condemn the whole thing.
Okay, listen. Let me answer that question. Okay. Okay. You are very right. It's never okay. That is not that is never okay. But at the same time, I want you to understand something. You see, sometimes when you want something and you feel you don't know how the person actually feels. If someone feels helpless, like my voice is not being heard and I can't really do something about it, and leaves the country, or someone probably left the country not because it feels that there is not going to be any solution. Let me put myself as an example. I count myself as one of the most fortunate Nigerians. Like when I left Nigeria, I wasn't even thinking about leaving. That's just the truth. I had a brother like that lives in my community that plays the lotto for people. So I said, "Oh, I asked him how much is it." He told me the money, and I gave him the money, and I traveled because then I used to work at NPDC in Warri. So I traveled, and a year after, he called me and said I won. You see, so I never really had the plan to leave the country in the first instance. But the reality is that a lot are leaving because they are so helpless. Can you just imagine a country whereby an average Nigerian that walks the street is a graduate, but there is no job? There has to be a point whereby such a thing will start happening. That's just the truth.
Let me ask you one more question.
Okay.
You live in America?
I live in America. I live in Chicago. I mean in California.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, because you sound like an intelligent person, you know what's going on in the country right now. We're virtually at a civil war without finding a gun right now, as we speak. Extremely corrupt country we live in. I grew up in this country. Extremely corrupt.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
What I'm saying, we have our problem. We have our problem with the dishonest, corrupt, murderous politician. We're at war right now. The dollar probably won't make it in the next 6 months to 2 years. It probably will collapse, right? We're probably going to collapse. I'm sure it's going to collapse, right? Now, we have to live here with this problem. If we choose to, you see what I'm saying?
Let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you one thing about that. Let me tell you one thing. You see, what we're going through in America today is something Nigeria has been going through for over 50 years. Okay? It's something Nigeria has been going through for over 50 years.
Not the same exact thing.
No, I will tell you that. Let me prove it to you. There was a time in Nigeria when it was 1 naira. Listen. It might not be the exact picture. Okay. So this is like, as I was saying, there was a time when it was a naira to $2. Okay. Now, ask me the question: what happened between that time today? That is like $1 to 1,300. Okay. And let me tell you, it just doesn't happen that way. It happens because of the wrong set of people in government, corruption, oppression, and suppression. Okay. Now, let me tell you one thing. If America should go through something like that for over 50 years, okay, you cannot tell me that the country is going to sustain itself. And now, mind you, there is also corruption, okay? And that corruption also goes deep into the legal setup, right? So the police are corrupt, the government is corrupt, government workers are corrupt. Everything seems not to be working. If that happens in America today,
and worse.
Let me tell you, it's the same here. Let me say it's the
And
same
worse.
here, but let me tell you one thing, it's not worse. You know why? You know why it's not worse? You know why it's not worse? If it is worse, Donald Trump would not even be he would not be facing any legal action today. If it is like that, Donald Trump will be walking on the street without anyone saying anything. Okay. If it is worse, if it is worse in America, let me tell you one thing. If it's worse in America,
what did Donald Trump do?
No, I'm just saying. At least I'm not saying he did anything, but at least, listen. It's not about what he did. Listen, it's not about what he did. It's not about what he did. It's just about at least you have some people that are trying to at least, look into what he did or whatever it is. So let me come down. I'm not talking about Donald Trump. If it is the same way, okay, Obama would own several estates in America today. All are, and get all through government funds and everything, and will be walking on the street and nothing will happen to him. Okay.
They do it in a sophisticated way. All presidents become millionaires, right? Undercover. It seems legal, but it's not legal. Okay, it is not legal.
But let me tell you you see, I'm still coming down. Listen. Let me calm down. I'm still making my point.
Bro, I know this country well, son.
No. I'm still coming up. No. Listen, let me finish what I'm saying.
Well
Okay.
done, right?
Okay. Please, just give me a minute to finish what I'm saying. Okay. So, like what I'm trying to say is that with all these things happening, okay, now in America, okay, let's say everything I've mentioned is also happening in America. Okay. But now the beauty of it in America is that you have good roads. The government makes sure that there are new jobs, and people are employed. You are not owing salaries for months, wages for months, because you go to Nigeria, some people haven't getting paid for like 6, 7, 8 months. There are certain things that works in this place. When it comes to medical, at least to a certain extent, you have medical care. All these things that are just normal in America is not normal in Nigeria. You have to pay for it, and you have to pay a lot for it. So you can't say it's the same thing. It's never the same. It's not apple to apple. Seriously.
It's the same and worse because we made our money through a gunpoint. Okay, our dollar stays strong for now through gunpoint. You either use the US dollar or we will F you up. Okay, you either take this money from the IMF or we will F you up. That's how they work. You need to listen to Dr. Arikana. That's who you need to listen. Listen to Dr. Arikana. Everything we do is by gunpoint. Do this or else.
You know what? I will tell you something.
That's just the fact.
If you are not willing.
Delroy, I was going to ask you, how do we stop the brain drain from Nigeria and from your country?
Delroy, you are not listening. Seriously, you are not listening to me.
Bro, listen to me, man.
But Delroy is making a point, but you're not.
I am extremely not. Listen to me. I work all over the United States, right? I work in almost every state. And I not only work there, I live there when I'm working there. I know this country well. I know the people well. Okay? Well. I know it well. And I'm going to say it again. We make our money through gunpoint. Gunpoint with the Caribbean, gunpoint with Africa, gunpoint with South America, right? But they met their match now. That's why they're faltering. Okay? And I want to see when this economy crashed and the dollar crashed, where all the Nigerians, all the Africans, and everybody else, where they're going to run to. Okay, because this will not last.
Where the Caribbean's going to go to when it crashes?
What?
Where the Caribbean's going to go to? There are a lot where you are in New York, aren't there?
That is my point.
I know, but I'm curious. You said where the Africans.
That is my point.
I'm curious where they're going to go as well.
They finished. They got the IMF, which is the biggest loan shark in the world.
I'm trying to tell you guys, right? That we have to concentrate on Africa. Africa is the only hope for Black people, right? And Nigeria is the lead head. But you guys just want to dismiss everything. You don't know exactly. You guys need to learn exactly what's going on right now in this world, with this economy, and so forth and so on.
Did the BRIC had a meeting recently? Is it yesterday or today, or a couple of days ago, about de-dollarization, right?
Yes, it's coming. There's no going around it.
Yeah. I think it's their #1 agenda. It's funny how the Russian economy is actually doing well since they've been fighting this Ukraine war.
Because they prepared for it. They took 10 years and prepared for it. They knew it was coming. So they prepared for it. Right? That's what they do. And that's what Africa should be doing. I told the people in my country, Jamaica, the same goddamn thing. Right? You have your money glued to this economy at your peril. Okay, it will collapse. They're in a corner right now. Blinken and the other fool woman was just over in China, right? Begging with their hat, begging. They were begging. Africans don't know that America borrow money every single month. We borrow money. We ask people to buy our bonds. Before, we used to force China to buy the bonds. No, China said, "F you, we'll buy it if we want to." That's what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay,
IMF,
that's what's going on.
IMF is a big.
Can I just add something, please?
Yes, Niger. Come on, you're welcome. As long as Dynasty is okay with it.
Go ahead, Niger.
Don't mind him. Greetings to everyone on the panel, the chat, and to the viewers. I think when Nigerians badmouth Nigeria, is often a way of expressing their frustration with the situation in the country. Even some of the most ardent separatists, when you speak to them and ask them, what would it take for you to sign on to Nigeria? And by the time they finish listing it, it's everything everybody else wants. So they just want the country to function. And if you see Nigerian problem, I think we've been diagnosing it in so many different ways, and it's obvious. And if you notice what Umahi was dealing with, he was dealing with the culture. And you notice how he was telling them, if you don't sign, but why did he feel that they want to change the contract? Because there's a culture of doing that. They can tell us what to do and we just accept it. And he is struggling against it right before our very eyes. And you see that with the way Yahaya Bello went and paid this children fees. They embezzle the funds of the country to put their children in special schools that they will even be educated with foreign children, like European children. And then the children go and start relating with their European counterparts as if they are colleagues, while in reality, they are also they see themselves as junior partners in that relationship. And they grow up, become like our current politicians again, and they do the same thing. They basically rinse and repeat. The pattern, see, to diagnose the Nigerian problem is a very, very subtle one. It's not very obvious. From what I can see, is based on historical occurrences that has occurred to us. And it's not because we were just colonizers. It's just the way the colonization ended is part of our problem, and we are still trying to work our way out of it. Just like Americans are dealing with their own problems, and gone with the gun culture, they can't just overnight remove it because it's part of their history now. From what I can see, the people that are controlling Nigeria right now, the people that are ruling the country, were the people that were the middlemen during the colonization era. That's at least their parents anyway. And that same set of people were the ones they handed power over to. So they never saw themselves as their own masters. They saw themselves as basically like an apprentice that never really became the master and wants to take over the entire country and rule. And the same is true for many African countries. There's a reason why 40 black nations in Africa just seem to operate they are bubbling at the bottom of almost all the economic measurements. So these people don't see themselves as free, not because they are not free, but they see themselves as colleagues of the Western powers. And this is why they always are in those capitals. And they have been indoctrinated into their elite class in terms of their secret societies and their organizations. And it's a problem, because if you think about it from the other point of view, the Japanese, they have relationships with the West. It's not a problem to them. And the South Koreans have a relationship with the West, or the Taiwanese. So it's not everybody that has relationship with the West that is doing badly. So you can have relationship with the West and do well. It's just that the way our leaders, their relationship with the West is a subordinate one. And it's very difficult for them to overnight turn against people. Some of them, their parents served the colonizers for 3 generations. So to turn on them, normally, if a nation fights for independence, that elite class will be displaced. But we didn't do that. So you have these collaborators that their children and their children's children has gone on to rule Nigeria. And that culture remains. Even if you are not directly part of the collaboration class, you still maintain the same culture. Just like you see some black American police maltreating black people in the way white police officer will do, because the culture is there already and you become participants in the culture. That's what you see going on in Nigeria. To break out of it, I think somebody said it earlier on, it will take some serious mind changing on the ground. And personally, I've not seen it happen peacefully. I've never really seen it happen peacefully. There are so many things in Nigeria we have to break grounds on for us to get out of the mess we are in without leading to a lot of serious upheaval.
Very correct.
And it's a very, very nasty problem. And because our history is like that, how do you break out of it? But for me, the only peaceful way to do it is to change people's minds. Like the conversations we're having here, you change people's minds and you make the bad leaders do the right thing. One thing I see in Nigeria is that the leaders do listen to the people. They are not as strong as some of the people think the leaders are. The structure of the country is relatively weak in terms of the security and all the rest of it. So if the people start an uprising today, the leaders will be scared. So they do listen to the people, but the people don't seem to even know what to ask for, because they are not. See, let me give you a simple example. I've seen a slave that was released in Mauritania, and the lady was saying she doesn't know how to be free, because she's been a slave for so long, and the generation after generation has been a slave. She doesn't understand the concept of freedom. And if you have not lived through, if you're not living in a nation that has expressed its complete sovereignty and freedom, and you are aware of it, how do you know how to ask your leaders for it? How do you know when your leaders are betraying you? It's hard to see, and it needs sensitization for our people to start picking up on it. This Omahi that you are seeing here is just a drop in the ocean. Look at the currency that the government said that they are trying to float. What they've just done is the ultimate round tripping, but people won't see it, because they make it look like running an economy is rocket science. If you don't want your currency to depreciate, discourage use of foreign currency. But they won't even do that. Man, if I start describing the problem, I'm going to talk forever here. It's just their behavior.
Don't do that. You'll be classified as being pessimistic.
No, I'm not pessimistic.
I know you're not, but I'm saying others will claim you're being.
Yeah, yes. Okay, let me try to talk about some of the positives. That this government, if they don't look for a way to destroy it, Nigeria will be doing well in the next 4 years. Dangote refinery is come on stream. The Port Harcourt refinery is due to come on stream this year. The Warri refinery is going to become. So we are going to be having almost all our refineries firing in all cylinders within the next 4 years. If that happens, Nigeria's foreign imports, which is energy, tends to consume about 30-something% of it already. All that is now in the coffers of the Nigerian state. So we have foreign exchange now. We can literally start doing things, billions of dollars that we can actually use to do things. Question is, will these leaders not find a way to sabotage it? That is my only concern. And because the pattern I've seen from 1960 to date is that they move up, they bring it down, they bring the economy up, they bring it down. So it's like strong enough not to collapse.
Continuation. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
strong enough not to
tonight
collapse.
you say it's going to do something positive. So could you keep the positive going and worry about the negative later?
No, I think I'm basically doing an analysis, and I'm not a politician, and my own focus is our survival. So I'm basically doing an analysis so that people that want to take what they want from it, because if you have positives going, you want to cement it, so you can go ahead and cement the positives so that the negatives don't come back. Because what you see is that they go up and they come down. That's the pattern. You have to look over time. And it appears these leaders, what they are playing at is that they keep the country strong enough not to collapse, but weak enough never to fully industrialize. And that seems like their plan.
Can I ask about two governors? Tonight, can I ask about what do you think about what the Abia State governor is doing, and to some extent, Enugu, even Lagos? What do you think about the effort they're putting out?
There's a lot of positive things going on in Nigeria. The Abia State governor, what he's done, not just with the power, because everybody's talking about power, but he also cleaned up the streets and is fixing the roads. So he's doing a lot of other things that is gaining him, this thing. People are actually approving what he's doing. So the question is, how is he going to hold? P2B did run a state once, and he ran it quite well. But the people, that's the ones that come after him, they are not always following. Lagos too, from the P2B's one is okay, but Lagos, there's also improvements going on. There's a lot of improvements going on in Lagos. There's a reason why you see people think that you should be seeing protests in Nigeria. There's a lot of reasons why you're not seeing protests in Nigeria, because there are a lot of things that are improving for a lot of young people.
That was my point. That was my point tonight.
When I was a kid growing up in the 80s, under I think it was Buhari or Babangida's dictatorship, they used to have Environmental Day. Do you remember that?
Yeah, environmental sanitation. Why?
Yeah, where we had to clean.
War against indiscipline.
Yeah, that was back then, and we're in 2024, and we're still doing the same thing.
The Nigerian economy, the youths, they are doing a lot of work online.
To Nigeria, I just want to chip something. I'm very sorry.
No, go ahead.
You straight on point. But like I said the other time, one of the reasons why we have problems today is not because stuff are not happening in the country, but it's just because we don't really see ourselves as one. I won't lie to you, because people really need to see themselves as one before they know the power they have by voting, by exercising their franchise. Not until that happens, some of the politicians will still be maneuvering the system and just having their way and doing the same thing. Because I won't lie to you, some people today, you talk to them about, oh, are you going to vote? Oh, no. My vote doesn't really count anyway. You see, that tells you. And two, you see, I kind of like romance with people at home a lot, so I know exactly what is going on. And I have pretty much support people, and do all kinds of stuff on the side. And from just mere talking to people, I try not to be too hard or harsh so that it won't look like because I'm helping them, I just want to control their life. So I tend to listen to them and give them a little bit of advice. But it's so funny that, when they are getting your money, they tend to listen to you. But when you want to tell them about politics or how you think, then you don't know nothing because you are not in Nigeria. It's just very, very funny. I won't lie to you. That makes me laugh a lot.
But here's the thing. If you ask somebody who's now in an African country, bigging themselves up, and you ask them, okay, it's good you're living in that African country. Have you actually changed anything? Is the government coming to you to change their policies, or are you just surviving like everybody else? Anyone can live in an African or Caribbean country, but it doesn't mean you're actually like this pro whatever. You're not making a change. You're just surviving like everybody.
Yeah, you see, that's what you try to let them see most of the time, and then you try to make them understand what their vote means. But let me tell you, like this last election, talking to
sorry, Dinas, can I quickly say something? Dinas,
well, let Bill done finish first.
Okay, like this last.
The reason why.
Let him finish, and I'll pass you Nigerian. Oh, good.
I'm just gonna like this last
this
last election, you know, like talking to people, you know, and you will notice like it's like some people are voting just because voting for Tinubu because he's Yoruba, you know, I'm Yoruba is Yoruba, you know, and some people are voting because the Hausas now said it's Yoruba's turn, you know, it shouldn't be that way. You see, not until we start seeing ourselves as Nigerian and voting for people based on what they can bring to the table, not just because they belong to a particular tribe or they are my tribe or they are my people. That is when we can even start. Because we have a lot of people that are actually serving already that can turn the country around. We just need to start exercising our franchise and thinking right. That is very, very important. There is no way we can fix that country without fixing the way people think.
Well, my brother, based on what I heard from my family,
please give me 1 minute, please.
Okay, go ahead, Nigerian first. Go ahead, Nigerian first. Go ahead.
Dynas, please. All the 2 links I opened for you, please. I post in private chat. Please post them. I want to show you something. The reason why Nigeria is in the state it is because of me and everybody here, all the Nigerians here. We are a liability to that country. For instance, look at South Africa export last year. Look at Nigeria, a country of 200 million people. Last year export was 40-something billion. And if you remove government export from there, from crude oil and everything, it's like the population of Nigerians, they are not doing anything. They are not adding any value to the country or to the GDP or nothing. So we can stay here and blame government all we want. Nigeria government said they are not even corrupt. In my view, because what the foreign exchange will bring into the country it's nothing to write home about. It's nothing. Let's be honest. It's nothing.
I don't know
we
why
need
you
to be productive as citizens and
build
and be innovative. We cannot continue to blame leaders all we want. Many of you here are in diaspora. Most of you are still salary earners. You can't even create business where over there where you are, where everything.
What business do you have?
You cannot create one single business.
Tell us your business. Tell us
I'm
your
talking
business.
I live here in Nigeria, so don't come.
What business do you have, Oga? Tell us now.
Can we let him just finish his point?
let him finish, Larry.
You see what I'm talking about? We will come here and make noise.
I think I understand.
To Niger, Larry, I'm sorry. But basically, what I'm trying to say is, we African, he's got in kind of way, he got a point there. You know, us African, we blame government too much. You know, we want a big government. We want government to do everything for us. But at the same time, if you look at the tax receipt in Africa, it's very low, right? The government do not collect tax. A lot of this private sector, they do not pay tax to the government. Yeah, they all evade tax. And at the same time, you know, and another point I was trying to make also, you know, if we want to be looked at as important people, as, you know, valued in the entire world, we need to place a ban, you know, on exporting raw material. We need to work into regional base like African Union, you know, for example, the ECOWAS, the East African Community, whatever, you know, regional communities in Africa, they need to come together and say, right, we need to place a total ban on exporting our raw material, you know, to the world. Until we do that, we're going to be coming back here and talking. Nothing.
Wait, but Al,
Larry wants to extract to produce, right? Not extract to export. Simple as that. All these private sectors, all these companies in the world, they'll be running to Africa and actually setting up, you know, these things. But the reality is also our downfall is our leaders in Africa. They're not investing in energy sector. They're not investing in agricultural sector. These are the main things. Water. No, can I finish?
Let's address the point he just made.
Water, energy, agriculture, basic education. These basic things, invest in it. It's very simple, and let the people do the rest for you. Simple as that.
Mike, let me pass it to Dragoon. Go ahead, Dragoon. Go ahead.
Excuse me, guys. Bros, how you doing, forefather? Excuse me, guys. Do you mind if you go around again? I'll come back. I'm listening.
Can I chip in? Hold on. Go ahead, Esako. Go ahead, Esako. Esako. Okay, go on one.
Kusimba.
Can I chip in?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I like that those stats that Nigeria first posted as far as we mostly export oil and the population in the land is basically useless. However, it would be very wrong to just blame the people of Nigeria to just do something because you're not even talking about the north of Nigeria, right? And even
Thank
the
you,
south,
Delroy.
besides Lagos.
Thank you.
So if you actually go to government schools in Nigeria, right, like the one my mom went to in 1980s and what it is now, it is desolate. People are not learning. Colleges, they go on strike. So the people there have nothing. Like there is so much ignorance and illiteracy in the country. So to just pinpoint the blame at Nigerians are hardworking people because when they come to the US, they hustle. There is no means for anyone to actually survive in Nigeria. Only if you have like a rich man, sugar daddy, or rich prince or whatnot. So it is very unfair to point the blame at the people because we have government for one thing. The US government make okay, we have to manufacture, the rich have to be rich, or at gunpoint you have to use dollars. So the US government actually does something to sustain the country. Is it stimulus? Look at the interest rate in Nigeria. What country can survive? How can business folks survive when the interest rate is 24%? You want to take loans to start business in the US, how much do you pay? In Nigeria, it's 24. So you have to look at what the government is not doing. The problem in Nigeria is being caused by the government. That is just, you have to hold the government accountable for what's going on in Nigeria.
Thank you, Jagun.
And
thank you very much.
No offense, but I think sometimes if you actually live in the country, if you go to the north and look at the country's history, north and south are two different countries. When there is protest in the east, there is protest in the west. When there is NSAS in Lagos, it moves to Igbo land to the east. The northerners don't care about what's going on in the south. As far as they're concerned, their own idea of Nigeria is jihad, where the entire country converts to Islam. So we in the south, we are the ones that think one Nigeria. We're probably more patriotic. If you guys visit Nigeria, don't
Can
just
we
go,
please talk about economy? I'm here to talk about economy. I don't care about jihadists and all the rubbish you are
Please, can
saying.
we just come off that topic now?
Let's
Please?
focus on economy.
I think I hear the
I'm just
frustration
saying
of Nigerian
You
first.
now
I
just
think,
stop pandering now.
can you just, I'll
I think it is very disrespectful when
I'll
I
stay
think it
on
is
your
very
lane.
hold on, hold
Stay
on,
on your
hold on,
lane.
hold on, hold on, hold on,
You
hold
have
on,
been
hold on,
talking,
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
Bjorn,
I
you have
think
been
it is very
talking.
disrespectful
You have
because
to
when
you
you
have to
guys
exercise
Biodu is
some
not the one
courtesy to
talking.
others.
Biodu is not the one talking. It's Jagun. Please.
Jagu is not talking, though.
Don't
I'm not
put
the
my
one
name on.
talking. Okay, sorry, Jagun.
I'm Jagu. Don't put my name. I'm being very quiet here.
Yes, Jagun, come on, come on,
No
Jagun.
disrespect, Jagun.
Al,
When you guys talk, I don't interject.
Sorry, so I'm not the one talking, okay?
Yeah. So I'm gonna be civil and let someone else speak. But I think it is disrespectful though. You guys go about fighting, arguing. I'm not arguing with anyone. I'm just speaking facts. I'm just speaking what I know. So I think it is very even the moderator is not even talking. So why are you guys just interrupting someone's conversation?
Because you're diverting the topic. That's why. But anyway,
No. Guys, can I come in?
I'll stay on your lane for a bit.
Okay,
Jagun, okay, please go ahead.
Go ahead, Jagun. Go ahead, Jagun.
How dare
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. I heard some of that. I must again congratulate you, our man Prince, the honest, because you're bringing the subjects on, man. The subjects that you're bringing of late are very, very now. We must speak about these things now, and we must speak about them in the way we see fit. Nobody's here to edit anybody's mind. People are speaking their minds. If you can't handle it, go and sit down somewhere, because people are speaking their own minds. Now, all I have to say where these things are concerned, especially where you see Nigeria, to be frank, it's a very easy country to make money in. It's a very easy country to really develop. However, we can't pretend to ourselves that things aren't in the way of development. Things are directly in the way of development. And some of those things do cut across tribe, do cut across religion. If you're not going to mention these things, then it means that you're willing to pretend alongside Nigeria. Unfortunately, we all know Nigeria is a country of pretense. Where it should be is not where it is. Nigeria should be the top 5 economies in the world. That's actually where it should be, within the top 5 economies of the world. However, we sit something like, I don't know, 30 something, which is just pathetic where we're coming from. We began in Nigeria with top class educated people. Unfortunately, the education that we had stemmed so much from a Eurocentric point of view that it brought us to a point where our Afrocentricity was undernourished. Let me put it that way. And then we do, I'm afraid, I don't care what anybody has to say, we have a scar in the country that comes from being Islamists. And this Islamic point of view has largely steered us away from the progress that we would have. There's no point in pretending about that unless you're a child and you can't take talk. So I don't want to bark. I've just finished my dinner, actually. Very lovely dinner I had egusi and 2 eba. If you know what I'm talking about, then you understand.
The king.
So I'm full of beans. I just want to land that, say, the people who are now on board speaking to an audience, I think we need to be as positive and as honest as we possibly can. And I'm coming back for round 2. I just wanted to entertain that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, can I just respond to Nigerian first? Because I think the way we talk over each other without actually responding to what somebody actually said is not generally, we don't get, everybody's just talking. See, Nigerian first, I hear your frustration that many of us just seem to blame the government and we are all not, like as if we are all not participants in the problems that Nigeria is today. And I think that there's truth to what you said. However, if somebody is highlighting what is currently going on in the country and the people currently doing it, it's not necessarily saying, oh yeah, it's just the leaders. They are basically saying this is what is going on and this is what is not right. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they are saying they are not participating. It is just trying to point to a problem. If you see something going wrong somewhere, are you not going to point at it? You're going to point at it. So what the leaders are doing, what they did with like an example, the currency now. They depreciated the currency by how many, or more than 100% in 1 year, less than 1 year, and that didn't need to happen at all. Anybody that reads economy will tell you that, this in for financial this is stuff will tell you that if you have an economy like Nigeria that is not diversified, you're supposed to have a pegged currency or a fixed currency so that it's predictable. You have an economy now they created an inflation system, that's an inflation in the economy that is just wiping out any value people have. If you buy a property in Nigeria today, if the property appreciates in value by 10%, but inflation will wipe it out. So he is running around the world telling people to come into the country while he's creating conditions that people can harvest a lot of wealth from the Nigerian economy, which I call the ultimate round tripping. So you have to look at what is going on and say, okay, yes, maybe I'm part of the problem because I didn't open my eyes early enough. I shouldn't have done some of the things I did in Nigeria and all the rest. But you also have to say, look at what he's doing now. Instead of being to just correct these courts and say, okay, make the economy stable, make the foreign exchange stable, so that people can have proper business. If the economy is going yo-yo every time, nobody can plan. It's basic chaos. And if you look at what you said about South Africa, this is the thing. I always say that this is like measuring height among dwarfs. South Africa is exporting 40 billion. Yeah, Nigeria is exporting just about the same in crude oil. But Singapore is exporting more than all the black nations in Africa put together. And that country hold on, let me finish my point. Let me finish my point. That country is less than 6 million.
No. South Africa export last year was about, 2022 was $130 billion.
Then what was the $40 billion?
What you see there is import 50-something billion, export 40-something.
Okay, if that is the case, do you know that a country that is less than 6 million exports more than the entire black country put together? A country that is less than 6 million. So that tells you the scope, the scale of our problem. And when you look at what is going on in Nigeria right now, I'm not like I said, my first analysis, I wasn't blaming the leaders directly. I would just say this is our history. This is what has just happened to us.
Yeah.
And sometimes history is more powerful than we like to give it credit for. You know, was it not somebody that made a documentary about guns and steel? He said most empires that you see in the world, we just assume that they arise on their own because the people are special. No, it's because of the environment that gave them the ability to arise. So these things are subtle. You have to know what you're dealing with. Then you got, because most of the things we talk about in Nigeria, there's corruption in Nigeria. There is also corruption in the West. But why is it not killing them? It's like, you know, when you have a kind of in epidemiology where you have some kind of disease going on somewhere, where while one this in organism or some animal has the same this in the virus doesn't kill them, but for some other animal, it will completely decimate the population of that animal. The question you have to ask yourself is, what does the one that doesn't this die from that infection, what does it have that prevents it from dying from the same infection? So they all have you have disease everywhere in the world, but they're all functioning. They all have division in the UK too, but they are functional. As a matter of fact, they went on to defeat the whole world, most of the world, without a proper constitution, with a divided country. How did the UK pull that one off? So you have to ask yourself those critical those critical questions to get to the truth of what is happening to us. And from my submission, you can see that some aspect of it is in terms of our history, but in terms of national policy, in terms of where, if we are as a people, what we have not done, I put it down to one specific one: security. That is what we never really
Thank you very much. To Niger, can I ask you a question?
I need a question.
Sorry, my brother. Sorry. How many functional steel plant companies do you have in Nigeria currently?
I think we have one or two, but small. No, we do actually. We do.
You have.
They are all not functioning.
Which one?
None of them are
functioning.
Ajakuta is not functioning.
No, Alaja, there's another one in the north. It's not that straightforward.
Okay, to Nigeria, let me
okay, let me just come in 1 second.
Hold on.
UFC, hold on. UFC, 1 second. Stop interrupting.
Not the whole population.
Oh God, this guy.
We need full Nigeria to build the economy, not the whole Nigerians. It's not going to be the whole Nigerians.
Okay, UFC.
Population. It's just what we need. But many of them are not doing anything. They are liability to the country, including myself that is speaking.
Oh, who's being pessimistic now?
UFC.
Liability. I'm just saying. I'm just stating the facts. We are all. So
you only have one functioning steel plant in Nigeria.
You cannot. Me, you, everyone here that is Nigerian. We create the problem.
All right. Okay. UFC. Can you stop interrupting me now, guys? Yeah, go on.
Let me ask you a question, right?
Yes.
But two questions I have for you.
Okay.
We were speaking about the exporter in South Africa, right?
Yeah, that
how are the 80% black people benefiting from the economy of South Africa? Be honest in saying it.
That's UFC.
The black people.
Not probably not, because those companies that belong to
zero
private companies.
Zero. So
like us.
Zero.
They are not productive also.
Do you know what, in West Africa, the only country, the economy that really matter, what I noticed in the world market when it comes to stability. In fact, maybe that's just the reason why the Guinea military and the Guinea military might is probably the most superior per number in the region, because the Guinea, as you see as a country, Guinea got a steady steel plant that export aluminium. I think they are one of the top 5 exporters of aluminium. I have worked in this industry. I work with precision engineering companies in the UK that work with nuclear, power station to, companies that make pieces for airplanes, right? So when the military coup in Guinea happened, aluminium in 1 weekend shot up to 123% up, right? So that's the reason why they always make sure Guinea is a secure country. Until we have this sort of leverage in the region or in Africa, we need We need steel plants. We don't have, steel plant. Nigeria is a massive shame for a big country. All this time you're talking, I was actually thinking, oh, Nigeria, actually, wow, they got probably about 3, 4, 6, probably 6 steel plants going on. But 1 or 2 functioning one, and you guys out there talking like Nigeria is going to be the superpower of Africa in the future. Come on, guys.
Alal, are you sounding pessimistic? What's happening?
No, but I'm actually
sounding pessimistic. What the hell?
Hillary, I'm
Why
actually
the steel plants
no,
are
I'm
not
sorry.
working? No. Why do you
That
think the
is
steel
quite
plants are
shocking.
not working?
That is shocking. No, but let me just finish, right? So for the fact that you only got 1 or 2 steel plant companies, remember? Oh my God, that's a country without those 2 things, right? Without having a steel plant that actually makes steel. So most of the infrastructure that you actually developing in the country, you importing those steel in the country to. Oh my God, I think you guys are in trouble.
Well, Alal, let me ask you a question again. I probably didn't finish my questioning.
Yes, go on, sir.
A couple things, because we love to just push everything in is Africa fault, is this country fault, is that country fault, is that country without forgetting the history.
That's true.
Singapore, South Korea, they were deliberately helped, right?
Very true.
All the African countries,
even Botswana, my brother. Sorry.
Yeah, and even Botswana. I know the whole story in Botswana, right?
Yeah.
All of the most of the African countries, they were deliberately. Al, if I come into your house, right, into your house with your family, and I come in there in gunpoint, and I said, okay, you take those 2 rooms over there, right? All the rest of these 5 rooms, right, is mine. You could have 1 bathroom, right? What are you gonna do to get me out of the house? What you gonna have to do? What would you do?
What you said? Oh God,
Right. You would do what you have to get me out of there, right? Right? Right?
Yeah.
And it's up to you. It's up to you, right? To outmaneuver me, right? To outstrength me, right? If you don't, I'm gonna stay in your house, right? And you're gonna occupy those 2 rooms, and you're not going to move until I say so.
You're gonna turn me to a tenant in my own building. That's right.
And that's what I tell people. The development of Black people in America, in South America, Caribbean, Africa is going to come with a lot of pain, because they do not want you to. Okay, they don't want you to. Right? It's going to be it's painful and hard burn for them. Right? When African countries start developing, especially with the African diaspora, it's war. It'd be the worst type of war, and Africans across the world have been prepared for it. This is what we're up against. It's not just, oh, why the Nigerian government doing this? Why the Ghanaian government doing this? Why the Syrian government? This shit come with a lot of pain. You see what those brothers going through in Niger, Burkina Faso, and stuff like that. They know it's pain.
My problem, Delroy, in those regions is the new ally. The new ally that they got in that region is the same ally that we had in Guinea. The Russian came on after we kicked the French out. Those steel plants that you see in Guinea, I think it was either the Russian or the one of the former presidents. I don't know if it's Chirac, but no, it was way before Chirac. I think it was the Russian. It was the Russians who helped Guinea build those plants, right? But the reality is, we actually kicked the French out. You probably know Guinea. When you hear about Pan-Africanism, the Republic of
But
Guinea.
when you say Russian, say Soviet Union.
The Soviet Union, sir.
Right.
When you hear about
Soviet Union.
Yeah.
Why say Soviet Union? Soviet Union is defunct. It's Russia now.
But anyway,
right? No. It was Soviet Union back then.
Okay.
Just leave
okay. There was Soviet Union back then. Russia is different today.
Yeah,
absolutely. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, very true. And also, basically, we kicked the French out to keep the Soviet Union. And Guinea, the plan that they got in Guinea is one of the most sophisticated in the world. And the region where the plants are, they enjoy electricity based on those plants, right? But the Russian actually were in control of Guinea economy, helped us out in loads of ways. what the Sahel is trying to do is the same thing that they're trying to imitate, right? But if you look at the trade deals that goes on in West Africa, I think Ivory Coast probably have more trade deals than the rest of the West African countries, right? Through the France, Africa, or the lobbies, you know.
Yeah, that's France' baby daughter. That's France' baby daughter. Okay.
France, Africa, yes. So there is. So we got to look at things. This Pan-African. This is very complicated subject, because the thing is, one, we got two. These guys are not our friends, right? We don't have friends. We just need to have business partners. We don't need friends. I don't think we need people to come in and support us.
You need strategic partners in today's economy and geopolitical power. We just need traditional partners. No
we don't need their
friends.
boots in the ground. We don't need Russian or Wagner, their boots on the ground. In Guinea, we never had the Russian military base in Guinea. All the military guys that protect Guinea from.
I would agree with you. I would agree with you on only on one condition. You understand? What's going on now? What's going on now? They need Russia because of what is going on right now as we speak right now. It's real serious, right?
Some of it, yes. Some of it they need it. Some of it don't. But the reality,
they need them now. Now they need them. Right? Whatever happened later on, fine. But they need them now strategically. Or America, listen, I got about 10, 15 members of my family in the military. Right? Some of them were stationed in Africa, in Djibouti. Right? Let me tell you something, bro. They train the soldiers, right? They don't care who you are, right? They don't care. They will kill their goddamn mama if they had to, right? And the reason why we strategically need Russia right now, right, is because of what they are capable of doing if they have the opportunity. They will take them brothers out in 2 seconds.
But do you know, in Guinea recently, the president had to summon the Russian embassy not long ago. I think I saw that online, where he told them to stop spreading propaganda about the situation in Guinea. Now, no other African leader in would have the guts and mind to do that. He told them, if you don't behave yourself, I will kick you out. You understand? So we need leaders that got the zeal. We need
yes,
leaders.
of course. But what Tory took
not Tory. I'm talking
contract.
about
No, I know, but I'm just telling you what they did to a Russia, all the contract. There's a Russian that owned a gold company there, and he redid the contract over even for them too, and they were Russians.
This is it. That's why exactly the guy in Guinea did. He called all the Chinese guys. He called all the guys and said, "Listen, we need to have a look at these things because I'm not liking what I'm seeing." So we need leaders with zeal, leaders that love their country. You know,
I agree with you 100%.
The problem is it's just puppet that we got. You know, in Guinea they had a guy called Alpha Conde, who was actually coming in there, doing what some of the Nigerian politicians were doing. You know, setting one tribe against another.
Yes.
You know, he was actually what let him down, right? He was actually embarrassing the religious leaders. He was grabbing their beard and telling them, why you got have beard on you, shave it, take this hat off. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, not long he was kicked out of power. Right? Stop whispering when I'm talking. Yeah. But the reality, we need leaders with zeal that don't work for outsiders, that work for the locals. Until you have that, we are in big trouble. If you don't have steel plant in a country, a functioning steel plant, don't talk about development. Don't, because you don't have one.
They got steel plant. It's just broken down.
Okay, look, this whole thing started because Dynast gave us this video about this politician. And the simple thing is, some people think this politician is going to achieve what he says, and some people think it's all talk. He's not going to do anything. So that's it. That's
and chances are that odds. It depends on the direction we are going, because sometimes when a nation is changing, you don't necessarily know at the time. Because you can look at maybe in the 90s when China was ascending, maybe the Chinese people during that time were just as pessimistic as we were, because what they had seen before then, although they were already a nuclear power then, but maybe they were just as pessimistic. So we don't necessarily know whether we've reached a turning point, but I'm not, based on what I know so far, we've not come close to a turning point yet. And because you don't see any African countries marching out on their own and doing stuff on their any major country. Guinea calling the Russian summoning the Russian ambassador is not a big deal. I don't see Guinea making a move. I don't see. I think to an extent the Niger, Burkina Faso, and
Guinea don't need to do that.
Can you not interrupt me?
Guinea is more secure than your country.
Al, don't interrupt me.
Why are you talking to him like that? That's not nice.
No, because he's very fond of doing that. That's why.
No, not you. I was wondering why he's addressing you in that way.
He does that.
Anyway, I'm talking to Tunaja. Can you just leave it then? Yeah. Yeah, Tunaja, go on.
Yeah. So these three countries, they seem to be they manage to organize themselves enough, but the issue I have with them is that you expect to see something different. You know, if you see some countries that are about to make a move, the development is very, very rapid. You tend to see very, very quick changes in terms of their security structure, which they did to an extent. You can say, okay, the pact is a good one, but the actual soldiers in the country, I'm not seeing major difference. The construction that you see in that country, see, someone like Lincoln, when he took over his country, within 3 years, he constructed more houses than the previous 30 years. 3 years, he did that.
Right.
That's what you tend to see when a nation means business. And you don't see that in many African countries. You don't see that in even Nigeria. You don't see that most of the projects that they do in Nigeria tend to last way longer than it should. To show you what the capacity of development is, even in Nigeria. The Dangote refinery technically was built in 6 years. That is unheard of in the context of Nigeria. So it tells you that it is possible if they want to do the right thing. But somehow they always manage to pretend as if they are moving forward, then they move backward, move forward, then they move backward. It's like, what is this game you are playing with us? And I think the people have a duty, like I think Nigerian First is saying, to have a duty to hold their feet to the fire. It was an American politician, I think maybe Jagmo saw the video, that said, you can make the wrong people do the right thing if you know how to push them. And that is the technique we have to use to get ourselves in the right place. If I'm to recommend in nations that Nigeria can, many African countries can copy their kind of the way they got themselves out of the mess they are in, I would recommend Singapore, I would recommend China, I would recommend Switzerland. These three countries were very, if you look at the way they approach their independence, they are very, very uncompromising about it. And they are very, very determined about it. And they went on to do very, very well for themselves. Switzerland is one of the best countries in the world. And they've been like that for almost 500 years. This country hasn't been to war for almost 200 years. But yet, their security readiness is is crazy. You think they just fought the war last year. So you have to study service, isn't it? And also, also their democracy is also very, very sound. That of Switzerland, their democracy is very sound. The people have the power. Like this year, they're going to pass this. They have 3 referendums. They will decide on the case of their pension. The people will decide the referendum. But you see what happened in France. They were throwing fire everywhere, fighting because the government decides everything. But this one in Switzerland, the people decide. And I think because Africa is so diverse, it will benefit Africans for the power to go to the people. So it's something I think we should study. Thank you.
Can I ask you a question, Tunaja?
Well, actually, we have to close out. Sorry about that. Well, we could, do a part 2. But everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family, Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. Peace.
All right, man.
Blessings.